The most inaccurate thing my son was ever taught in school. His sixth-grade history teacher told the class that Vikings wore horned helmets and were nothing more than uncivilized savages. My son came home excited. "Dad, did you know Vikings had horns on their helmets and were basically monsters?" I smiled. "Actually, that's a myth. Horned helmets were invented in the 1800s for operas. Real Vikings wore simple helmets and were also traders, explorers, even poets." He looked confused. "But Mr. Harris showed us pictures. It's in the textbook." The next day I emailed Mr. Harris asking if I could give a short guest talk during History Week. He agreed. That Friday I walked into class with a replica Viking helmet, no horns, and some updated historical sources. "So," I asked the kids, "who thinks Vikings wore horned helmets?" Every hand went up. Mr. Harris smiled from his desk. I held up the helmet. "This is what archaeologists actually found. No horns, just practical design." One student said, "But our book shows horns." I checked the book. Published in 1996. We've learned a lot since then. Mr. Harris started shifting in his seat. I pulled up recent museum photos and academic sources on my tablet. The kids were fascinated. Mr. Harris, not so much. Then one boy asked, "So, our book is wrong?" Mr. Harris stood up, clearly irritated. "We use those materials because they're simple. No need to confuse students." I replied, "Facts aren't confusing. They're just accurate." That night my son asked if Mr. Harris was mad. "Maybe," I said, "but asking questions is how we learn." On Monday, Mr. Harris gave a pop quiz. Question 1. What kind of helmet did Vikings wear? My son answered, "No horns." He got it marked wrong. He came home in tears. I scheduled a meeting with the principal. I brought printouts from updated sources and museum websites. After hearing me out, the principal called in Mr. Harris. Faced with evidence, he said, "This is how I've always taught it." The principal asked, "But is it correct?" Mr. Harris replied, "It's what the kids remember better." I said, "My son is being punished for telling the truth." 2 weeks later, the school updated their history materials. Mr. Harris now calls it the Viking myth. On my son's report card, demonstrates critical thinking and a love for history. But at the next parent night, Mr. Harris avoided me, and when I signed up to help with the school museum project, my name had been crossed off. Now, whenever my son hears something new in class, he asks, "Is that a real fact, Dad, or just a Mr. Harris fact?"